How Clifford Sargent reviews a book. Clifford Sargent, the creator of Better Than Food book reviews, is creating content since 2014. Since then, he found his niche in reviewing books often linked to themes such as sex, death, art, philosophy, and sometimes getting out of bed, or sugar, or biohacks. Well, I will talk about these strange topics later, but let me say for now that I find these anomalies are part of what makes the charm of Cliff's videos for me. But what do I tell you? If you're watching this video, you are probably familiar with him, and if you want some in-depth information about him, just watch his interviews, or like I did a few times, send him an email. This video should be more about what makes his videos so attractive. The first video I ever watched of him was his review of Knut Hamsun's Hunger, which sucked me in within the first seconds. Just watch this clip.
Prepare yourself some food and watch it during this review for maximum enjoyment. Or even better, press pause and go 36 hours without eating a fucking thing. Then come back to me on Tuesday. Watch this video, but have like cookies and cured meats and shit. But just stare at it and wait until the review is completely over before even touching it. The result will be very effective, I assure you.
And now don't tell me you're not immediately sold. He's starting off his review by linking the subject to the experiences of a viewer. Sure, nothing has been said about the book yet, but he immediately catches an audience of people who are wanting to read a book with the title Hunger. He catches them where they want to be caught. In this instance, at the experiences of lack, loss and suffering. Ones that stand out from everyday life. Cliff understands that the consumption of any work of art, such as a book, is not an end in itself. The type of media consumers that are his audience are not your typical give me anything with a thick enough plot to binge watch the whole night Netflix viewers. Those aren't people that want to shut off after a hard day of work. Escapism is not the point. He speaks to people by making them relate. And he makes them relate not only to the reading experiences more directly, but also to his own reading experience, as well as his character. Cliff does things differently than other reviewers by not putting a wall between him and the audience, and he does this by the very showmanship that is his charisma. He talks to you as a friend, or better, as a drinking buddy. He even claimed one time himself to be superficial or phony, and seems to not have a claim on authenticity. But what is authenticity really? At some point, the enthusiasm he puts on for the video must overlap with his actual emotions. This is the whole point of theater. It's larger than life. And as a partly scripted, partly improvised performance, what are videos like this other than theater? By staging a role of recollected thoughts, he gives the viewer much more than an idea of what the book is like, an experience of what it is to experience a book like him, thus the drinking buddy. And he really does take a few drinks with you. He is a gonzo booktuber. Because of the drugs, because of the experience, because of his philosophizing and his research and the real life experiences he shares with you. He is an outlaw. What a lot of people want to be but do not dare. Drinking in book reviews because that's him. That's what he enjoys. And he breaks a cliché and an expectation with it, making the viewer loosen up his anus. Cliff Sargent becomes more than a person. He becomes hyper-real, so to speak, in Baudrillarian terms. In his persona manifest desires of having someone to talk to authentically, of not wanting to waste your life with things you hate, of being open about his faulty personality. Having someone to talk to about things like that are what a lot of people that are consumed by today's internet culture lack. And by making statements about his dark past and making fun of himself, he ignites satori third wall break sigh of relief moments. It's sometimes also childish and liberating. And oftentimes he does it with such joy and nonchalance, you have a hard time ever watching another video afterwards that isn't, for example, aware of the fact that the creator is selling something to you. Now you cannot but realize yourself, as the, if not originator, the constant initiator of desires, fears and hopes that his videos approach. because he is making you aware of the consumption of the ideology that he and thus the book provide. It is the tragedy of Rimbaud, the grit of Kerouac, and the life as a serious party struggle attitude of Cliff himself. But it is you, the viewer, who is deeply touched by this amalgamation of ideology, and at the same time you know that not all of this is you, because it is 100 lives of authors and characters, but still it touches you in your innermost soul, because it is all human condition at its core. Hell, he even did a few outdoor videos, and some in his holidays, in Spain and Hungary, Paris. That's another one for linking experience and medium. That's another one for hyper-real. He's an advertiser for a certain kind of real-life experience. Maybe even lifestyle, and he builds all that up on the advertisement of how a book should be read. Not in a closet of unutterable emotions, but out in the world, making you revolve and change and, goddammit, talk about it to people, get emotional and crazy, and maybe unloved by some, but with a crazy dedication to what you feel. Furthermore, Cliff touches a lot of dark themes in his videos, but he doesn't make himself laughable by trying to fall into a gloomy voice. He does that in some instances, sure, but falls out of character right away. It's setting the tone a bit, but that's not the main point here. Much more interesting is that he is coming out of a closet for a lot of people who may have a fascination for themes such as necrophilia and suicide, but however prominent these may be in our media, many still don't have any outlet for sharing their fascination about these topics, and that's where you meet him. Now in the last few months there has been a radical change to his videos, where he incorporates a lot of personal matters via pop-sci books into his channel, and some people have even accused him of having taken reading and enjoyable pastime and turning it into some kind of high-octane, intense CrossFit workout combined with a macro-micronutrient-obsessed Olympian-style diet. He makes points about his ketogenic diet, creates videos and books about how to wake up properly and other self-disciplinary practices that one could subsumize under the art of letting neoliberal pressure rule your life. I'm convinced that this attitude of his, combined with the Jordan B. Peterson wave he has written to bump up a few more viewers, has a highly questionable political edge to it, but you figure that out for yourself. This whole new development points in two directions. On one side, Cliff seems to continue doing what he has been doing the whole time, which is not putting up walls between him and the viewer and letting him or her in on his personal development in relation to his reading experience. The problem for me is though that from time to time, through all this adjusting and perfecting his reviews, although they stay great content-wise, his channel has become more and more boring. This is not to say that his videos are not anymore worth watching or interesting and touching. I mean boring here as a contrast word to, fun. Where did all the chaos go? The feeling that he just woke up this morning, took out a bottle of wine and rambled on about his crazy reading experience of last night. All the playfulness and childishness has made room for a dull background, less jokes and experimenting. And where have the outdoor reviews gone? All in all, less outlaw? When I started following his channel, I thought things would take a different direction. I had a different Cliff Sargent in mind. My Cliff Sargent lives by now in a chaotic communal house with other masters of the art of living, with butchers, directors, porn stars, constantly creating new artworks in the backyard, drinking and interrupting each other, and thus reaching higher levels of genius. I didn't think he would be wasting away in an artificial square bubble. I wish him to be more incorporative of chaos, people, drugs, spontaneity. Less script. That said, I am overly glad that I found his channel. I learned a few things about me while watching him ramble, got some immensely good book recommendations, and had loads of fun. I discussed some of the ideas I get from him with my friends, and we get a better picture of one another by doing so. He made my life a little more bookish, and I hope he will continue turning on more people. because he is important. We get to share. Books are better than food. Thank you.